Hey y'all, what's going on? This is J Marie, J Marie Booklist, and today I'm making a video about technology, automation, any and everything you can think of as far as the medical secretary is concerned. Some of this will be the hospital, some of this will be, what I've seen out in the world and the technology that companies are employing, and we're just going to talk about it. So the first question is, am I afraid of technology taking our jobs? The answer is yes and no, but I'm more at like the no, because working in a hospital, it's just too many variables that can go on where automation for the secretary it's just not feasible. So the first thing is there's a staffing shortage. So there's not enough doctors, not enough nurses, not enough secretaries, not enough everybody. We know this just by going to work every day. We have, sometimes you get pulled to another floor because another floor, their need may be stronger than your floor's need. I've had that a lot of times. That's why I know the whole hospital. I know how to work pretty much the whole hospital because I get pulled to other floors all the time because there's not enough secretaries to go around and to fill the need. I know that hospitals are trying to get CNAs to do two jobs, so a CNA and a HUC, or they're trying to get HUCs to do two jobs, and it'll work on paper and it works in theory, but it doesn't work 100%. And what I mean by that is I know a lot of you all who watch this video are former CNAs, or you are a former CNA who is now a HUC or a secretary, or you do both. You are a CNA slash HUC, and you do both, and in theory it works, and it'll work on a smaller floor, so it'll work in the ICU. Like I tell all the time about the secretary we had who was a CNA, and she worked on our sister floor, and when one of the secretaries went on maternity leave, they trained her to fill in for her, and she came back, and so they wanted her to go back to being a CNA, and she wasn't having it. But it just so happened that we had the other secretary on our floor left. She took another job within the hospital doing something totally different. And so that position opened up, and that's how she came down there. So in the ICU, they were like, they took her because they was like, okay, she's a CNA. She knows how to do a HUC. She'll be perfect. Cause I was just a secretary. I didn't do all that other stuff. And when she came down there, she didn't do none of that stuff. She didn't do none of it. I think the only thing she really did was the post-mortem care. That's the only thing she really did. She didn't want to do anything else, because you got a lot who they like being a secretary. I mean, you've been pulling patients up, pulling them up in the bed, putting them in a chair, putting them in the commode, changing them, wiping them, doing all this, and now you just sit at a desk and you're on a computer and stuff. I mean, that's I mean, if I was seeing that, I ain't mad at you. But see, that's why I say it works in theory, but not. Now, some of you do it, because you work on a smaller unit. That's what was required, and that's what works. Because that same secretary we had, because we had the ICU, and then we had a unit where they do procedures, and they recover. So they admit the patients and they recover the patients after the procedure. And a position came open, and she applied over there, but they didn't want her because that would have been perfect. I mean, that would have just been perfect. It would have been perfect hours for her as far as her and her children concerned. She was CNA. She was secretary. She had already worked over there. She would go over there and work. They asked me to go over there and work. I refused because it's too many cooks in the kitchen over there. And I was like, no, okay, it's too many. I mean, they asked me a lot of times to come over there. No, just to cross train, just to know how to know. Okay, no, it's too many y'all. like literally one person, like say they needed something from us in the ICU. One person would call, so I'm on the phone, you know, this is Jackie, how may I help you? And the other person coming through the front door, and the third person coming through the back door, all trying to get the same thing. Like what is going on? Like y'all need to stop. And these nurses, like y'all, it's too many cooks in the kitchen. Like come on, like somebody need to just let one person do it, and like it was ridiculous. So that's why, and that's when that was when I first went over to ICU. So that's why I was like, no, I refuse. I'm not gonna learn nothing over there. And but that position would have been perfect for her. The hours, she was CNA and she was secretary. That would have been perfect. She could have helped, you know, get the patient situated, get on medical records. She would have been perfect because they had another secretary like a long time ago who was not. She was just a secretary, but they had her doing stuff like once the patient left, like fixing, you know, putting the sheets in the new pillows and new sheets on the stretcher, you know, things like that. But so that would have been perfect for her, but they didn't want her because she ain't do nothing. Okay, they like, she don't do nothing over here in ICU. Like, you think you're gonna get, no. So she did that to herself. So in theory, it works. CNAs, PCAs, it works for the smaller unit. So it will work for ICU. It will work for like a admission recovery type unit, PEDS, PICU. You know, it will work for those type of small units. But you gotta have a secretary who wants to do both. And see, she wasn't so there's a shortage. So the first part, do I think that that's the reason why I'm leaning towards no, because there's a shortage. And you know, your secretary getting pulled over here, then it's a shortage. In theory, it works, but in reality, not always. And then the second is, you know, let's say you have a emergency, something were to happen, and you like a shooting, a school shooting, or a terrorist attack, or whatever, and all these people coming to the ER. You ain't got no secretary down there? How you ain't got no secretary? Is it all nurses? Really? And then, now they need to be transferred to the ICU. Really? No secretary in the ICU? Now we need to move. We got to discharge all these patients to make, you know, that's already here, to make room for the ones that's coming in. No secretary? No? Just all nurses? And who else? Yeah, no. So no, that's not. So we're gonna discharge the big floor. I came from the big floor. I came from the big main floor. We're gonna discharge 50 patients. We got 50 patients. We're gonna discharge half of them right now, and just nurses. Really? Really? And the ones that won't get discharged gonna be on the call light harassing everybody. Really? We gonna do all that? Because you know you got the ones that be on that call light regardless, and they the ones that won't be discharged, okay? And you trying to discharge 25 people, half the unit, to make room to get them, really? No secretary? No. So, yeah, it ain't happening. The third, the nurses ain't gonna have it. They're not gonna tolerate not having a secretary. It's just technology and AI and all this. The nurses are not gonna tolerate it. They tried that at the hospital. They brought in this consultant company, and they talked about the night shift secretaries. You know, we don't need them, and yeah, and because that was the one floor that always had the nurses crying and stuff. Everybody was crying, and because that floor was just horrible. They tried it with them, and they were gonna, because what they were doing, they were testing is. They had 2 secretaries, because that was a big floor. They had 2 secretaries, even though they didn't act like they had 2. It was like you were there by yourself. So it was like one in the front, one in the back. It's like 2 separate units, but it was one unit. And so they would do the 7 to 11. I'm sorry, they would do the 7A to 7P shift. And then the 7P to one would stay the whole 12 hours, and the other one would leave at 3. So that one's usually the one in the back, will leave at 3 o'clock in the morning. So you work from 7 to like 3, whatever 8 hours is. And they will send you home. And then, so 4 hours, it's only one huck. And then the 2 day shift hucks come back in. And I don't even know why they was even doing that. But they were doing it. They always went, every time I floated over there, it was always one huck that replaced me. So it would be 2 in the morning, me and another one. And then it would only be one working. Because so you're trying to save by 4 hours, because that's all that is. 4 hours, because you're only working 8 hours at once. So you save 4. How much is that? How much? Really? You just don't save the whole hospital budget for 4 hours? Okay, whatever. But it was never like that, because they always only had one that replaced the 2. So they had me and the other person, and then when we leave, there's only one. So I don't even understand anyway. But they was trying it and they was trying to do with 0. And I'm like, how y'all gonna do 0 when you get all the patients that been in the ER all day? They transfer them at the change of shift. So who gonna do the admission? Because the nurses ain't doing it. Because you ain't supposed to be transferring anyway at the change of shift. Who gonna do the admissions? Y'all gonna sit down somewhere. So look, the nurses ain't gonna have it. Nurses ain't not on that unit. They wouldn't. Okay, shoot, you barely get treated. Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all this. When I say there was the most horrible floor in the whole wide world, that floor had nurses crying, like just nurses that floated there be crying. Okay, they don't told it. I was like, golly. I worked over there, but I just I was always in overtime, so I didn't care. But one time when I had got sick, when I first got sick, and I was in the ER and they were waiting on the bed, and I worked on the main floor, and I was like, nah, I don't like people in my business. Okay, I'm a private person. I know about HIPAA, don't be looking all in. But anyway, I was like, if I end up on that floor, I'm going to call everybody on my unit, because I was working on the main floor, and have them come check on me every 5 minutes. Okay? Like, that, no. Okay? That floor was, okay? Nurses crying. Because I'm like, they going to have me dead up over here. I got to have my peoples come check on me. And I don't even like people in my business. Okay? But they got to come check on me. Make sure I'm still alive every 5 minutes. They got to take turns coming checking on me. Because I just don't, That floor was horrible. It was so horrible. I just don't understand it. But the nurses ain't gonna have it. So we already got a shortage in the hospital. What if there's a terrorist attack or something? And then the nurses ain't gonna put up with it. Now, some of the technology that I've seen that kind of, because I'm like, no. But that technology that I've seen that kind of got me like, is one, I went to go get some blood work done, because I always take care of myself. Doctors say go get some blood work. I go do it. Lab Quest Diagnostics. I want to say both of them, because I'm pretty sure I went to both of them. When you go in, they got like a kiosk. Because I just schedule online. I just, let me schedule online. And then you go in and you put in your phone number, your name. It's like a kiosk. So it's just a kiosk, a tablet, and you put in your name and what time. Because I always make appointments, because you can't get up in there. So I always make appointments. That's why I do it online. And then you go in and then you put your name and your time and phone number, and then you sit down and wait for them to call you. And everybody else who didn't have an appointment, they got to sit there because you made an appointment. And so, there's no secretary. There's no signing in, nothing. Well, you sign in on that kiosk, and then they call you. Now, does that have me kind of, yeah. But but you never know. Then same thing with the doctor's office. One of my doctors, look, I'm trying to pay, look, my insurance didn't pay something, so I'm trying to pay him. I called him. I got this whatever, say leave a voicemail. I leave a voicemail. They send me a text talking about what you want. So I tell them I want to give y'all some money. I ain't heard back from nobody. Well, you ain't gonna get no money. So, look, I can do. You ain't getting no money. Cause I didn't want to talk to the machine because I had went on to the doctor's website, see if I could pay. No, ain't nothing to pay. Oh, okay, nowhere to let me give you some money. Nope, I ain't coming in there. Why I gotta come in there? You got all this technology to replace, because to replace the secretary. But then when somebody want to talk to you and give you some money, so we'll see. So yeah. Okay, they text talking about what you want. I was like, well, I left a voicemail. I did leave a voicemail, my name, my date of birth, and I want to give y'all some money, what you want? I want to give y'all some money. And they ain't heard nothing back. Ain't nobody called me nothing. But if they had answered the phone, because that's that technology, but if they answered the phone, I could have gave them some money. I could have gave them all that money. So when they call me again, I'll be like, you have to wait. So, because I'm giving these other people their money. So, because you don't want no secretary. You don't want nobody to answer the phone. So, me personally, when I call you, especially if I'm trying to give you some money, like, come on. Anybody, I just want to give you some money over the phone, or just hear my credit card number. Just take the money, but they trying to save all this, how much it costs to have a secretary, how much secretaries cost. They try to save that money, and they got this technology, and now they whatever. Okay, and that, I know the doctor. I work with the doctor. Okay, you ain't gonna get no money because you don't get no secretary. I'm trying to give you some money. And your website, I'm surprised. That was a nice website. I was all over that website. I clicked everything. I'm like, this website is nicely done. It's just too bad he ain't got nowhere for me to give him some money. Like, it's kind of weird. And then if I call you, I gotta leave a voicemail, and I get a text talking about what you want. And then I gotta tell you I want to give you something. Like, come on. Okay, whatever. But if you had a secretary who answered the phone, could give you some money. So, I don't know. Now, but now you have some, like we had at the hospital where when the patient is being discharged, they have a discharge summary that we would give them. You usually get a discharge summary. And they had implemented this system where you could, you had a list of doctors. So whether they were primary specialty, like cardiology, urology, whatever, they got on this list, and we could email it. So let's say Dr. Smith saw patient Jane Doe. Well, we could email what we did, like the paperwork, to him, because we're gonna give her a discharge summary, but we could email it to him, and then that way he doesn't have to come back when she goes in the office and try to get medical records, or got to log into the system, because they can log into the system and see the patient's chart. But we email it to him so it can be on the file. But the secretaries weren't doing it. I didn't really do it because I could do it, but I didn't really do it because I was in the ICU. ICU, we don't discharge patients. We don't discharge patients from the ICU. And we might discharge them to the morgue. But we might, but we don't discharge them we don't discharge patients. That's very rare. We transfer them. Right. Or, they might go to a facility. It just all depends. But it's very rare. Okay. So, but I knew how to do it, but I did it every now and then. Like, I had to write a note to myself when I would go to our sister floor to remember to go and do that and email it to the doctor. But so many secretaries weren't doing it because, one, it was just like we had never did it, and now suddenly we got to do it. And then two, it was so many steps. And then the list of the doctors was updated every day. And then you had to go to this file on the computer, like whatever file, J file, F file, whatever. See if the doctor, like the patient will have all the doctors on their case, and then you got to see if any of those doctors was on this list, and then it was 20 steps. You got to click all this and to get to it, and finally just to email it. I mean, literally, it's probably about 20 clicks. Once you got in that system, it's about 20 clicks. And that was just too much. And then, you discharging 10 people. And you got to remember. So a lot of secretaries weren't doing it. Some kind of way, they automated it. That's what they said. They automated it. So the secretaries didn't have to worry about doing it anymore. So, stuff like that could happen where it automatically does it. That's all I heard. We ain't had to do it no more because they automated it. And then, my biggest thing is one day they might figure out how to automate consults. And then we won't have to call them in no more because... But then that's going to take out answering services, the answering service. So I don't know. So as far as am I nervous? Am I scared? Am I worried? No. I mean, I am, but not really. It's like 90% I ain't tripping. But 10% I see stuff. I see stuff that you may not see. And then there might be some stuff that you see that I don't see. So like my mom, getting back to the shortage, the staffing, the shortage. My mom works at a hospital. Mom's a nurse. She works at a hospital, and they only have one secretary at night for the whole hospital. And I have a viewer, a subscriber. I want to say, I know you're a viewer because you commented, who is the only secretary for the whole hospital. And my mom works at a hospital just like that at night. There's only one secretary, but that secretary doesn't do the consults. She leaves all the consults for day shift. So I'm like, how can one person be the whole? But that it can be done, and that's not a small hospital. So, but it can be done. But like I said, they tried it, but there's a shortage. But like at that hospital, my mom said she's not really a secretary. She's more like a gopher. So she goes and does everything. I was like, I could probably do that because I could do everything. I was like, I could probably do that. But she said she's a secretary, but she's not really. She's more of a gopher. But am I concerned? I mean, but look, that works for that hospital. Because I've never heard my mom complain about we ain't had no, and she just, because the nurses, night shift nurses pretty much know how to do stuff anyway. They're very good at that. But that's all, I never heard my mom complaining, we ain't had if anything, she complained about the day shift secretaries. I'm like, Mama, you work nights. Go home. Stop bothering people. So, but it works for them. Like I said, am I nervous? Am I scared? No. But I do see things, but nothing to make me nervous. And I see things because, and when I see things, I always wonder, okay, now what if everything went wrong? How do they handle it? Because that's how I think. You like the kiosks at the lab. That's one thing. But what if something go wrong? Like what? I guess I think about the bad because you gotta plan for stuff. So that's why hospitals, it's a shortage. There's a shortage of nurses, doctors, staff. You need to get everybody you can in there, not out of there. You understand what I'm saying? All right, y'all. This is J. Marie, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.